Well, good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome in. So glad you're with us here midweek on a Wednesday. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light and our association with Yellowhammer News. I'm here at Network Control Barry in I think looks like maybe a Holiday Inn Express, but it could be a Marriott Bonvoy property. Who knows?
Now I think it's an independent hotel. I'm in downtown, and I mean downtown Atlanta, Georgia right now, where it is rainy, nasty outside. I'm the We stayed here last year. I've done the show from here last year when we have basketball against Georgia State tonight in downtown Atlanta for Troy. We're right next to underground Atlanta, not too far away. I can't remember the name of the hotel we stayed at, John, when we were at SEC Media Days this past summer. We're about 2 blocks away from that. I'm fortunate to be here. Downtown Atlanta ain't my thing, You get off the bus, you got your you got your rolling bag, you got your backpack, you got your broadcast equipment and everything. There's people outside, requesting money from you, and not that I mind it or anything, but that's just where. It's not a bad. It's a great hotel downtown. It's hard to get away from.
I'm like you. I don't really. I got some friends and relatives that live in Atlanta in the neighborhoods, but I really have no desire to go to Atlanta, particularly downtown Atlanta. I really have nothing to offer. I've talked about it many a times how inconvenient the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is. Who wants to tailgate in a parking deck? I've never understood why they just had to build the new stadium right next to the old one, but I don't go to Falcon games, and if I'm following Auburn or Alabama, I don't expect them to be in the SEC championship game anytime soon. So I guess I don't have to worry about going to downtown Atlanta.
Well, a couple of things. There is timely sporting information to talk about, I suppose. Of course, Super Bowl week. The game itself draws nigh. There is basketball. Alabama plays tonight at home against the league leaders in the SEC, Texas A&M. 6 o'clock tonight on the SEC network. And will Alabama lose their third game in their last 4?
It's a lot of praise. Is it too early to say there's pressure on this Alabama team, possibly losing their third at home? We all know who's on the horizon. I'm sure they're thinking about their next game.
Yeah, A&M's a look ahead. Yeah, the league leading Texas A&M a look ahead game because they've got to take on Auburn this weekend in Auburn on Saturday. I looked at some early Jerry Palm stuff, some NCAA tournament projections, and Alabama's in, but
Barry, somebody asked me last
night.
Heard this on a national show. Obviously, they reshuffle the deck every Monday or something after the weekend's games or the week's worth of games. But they had Alabama as a higher, or is it higher or lower? Well, how do you say it?
Better seed.
Yeah, they have Alabama as a better seed currently than Auburn or Texas A&M. Now, I don't know who Texas A&M has played already this year. I don't know what their non-conference was like. I don't know what their conference. I think they're about to get into a really difficult stretch of conference games. But I was blown away. Was it Ken Palm or something like that? I'm thinking, wait a minute. Alabama's not a 4 seed or a 5 seed or whatever they were claiming. I'm thinking, I'm glad they reshuffle these every week. And by the time we get to March, the way Alabama's playing,
who knows? Can't call it right now.
I don't see it.
Well, when Auburn, and again, they reshuffle and redo and re-rank all this stuff, and all the projections come out usually every Monday after the weekend's games. John's right. But no matter what happens, Auburn and Alabama will play this weekend in Auburn as a pair of unranked teams. And that has been a while since that has happened. That has been a while. Texas A&M is 17-4. They got the best overall record. They've got the best conference record. And, they play tonight again in Tuscaloosa. Gosh, I keep trying to think of different creative ways to say this, but I say this all the time. Do you remember somebody on this radio or on this audio or on this video platform told you, you could do worse than hiring Bucky McMillan?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I wanted to hire him locally because, he was a high school coach and all that. Well, Bucky McMillan, who came from, was it Mountain Brook? Mountain
Brook, yeah. He was, Barry, I think when I mentioned that, he was still at Mountain Brook.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So I caught a lot of grief about high school coach. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well,
that was then, this is now.
He went from Mountain Brook to Samford.
Yeah.
Which is, he didn't even have to move. He went to Samford, very successful at Samford. And Texas A&M, the people, the 12th man, they weren't real happy that they hired him. He's in his first year at Texas A&M. First year.
Yeah.
And they're 17-4. They're 7-1 in conference play. Both records are better than anybody else in the league. And they take on Alabama in Tuscaloosa tonight. And they haven't had a very tough schedule at all. But 7-1 in the Southeastern Conference is 7-1 in the Southeastern Conference, right?
Well, you know how I look at it, Barry. Who have they played? Who is this guy rushed against? Who has he churned up all this yardage against? I always seem to always go back to that, as my go-to.
Who else is trying to rush him? Who else is trying to pledge this guy?
Yeah, so A&M, let's see, Northwestern State, Texas Southern. They did lose to Oklahoma State.
They lost that one by 24. Montana State, Manhattan,
Mississippi Valley. Whoa. Yeesh.
They beat the heck out of Florida State. They beat Pitt.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Texas A&M played East Texas A&M? No way.
What do you mean, no way? You didn't even know there was such a thing as East Texas A&M.
That's true.
So
Prairie View. Now I got to tell you, Barry, this is a pretty weak non-conference schedule. I had not seen it. I'm looking at it for the first time right now.
But they hit conference play and they're 7-1. So there's some legitimacy there. That
Auburn,
is
Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas State, South Carolina, Georgia. So okay. They got Bama and Florida coming up, Vanderbilt a little bit later on, Kentucky at the end of the year. Okay. All right.
And then they go to Auburn this weekend. And we'll talk more about this when this comes around. Auburn's not playing in the midweek.
Oh, how convenient.
I wonder
how that happened.
The Auburn students have had all week to have little study groups together and say, all right, what can we say? What rhymes with Bediaco? Not much. What chance can we get? What can we chant? No, Bediaco doesn't rhyme with any.
What was it last week? Wasn't it G League Reject or something?
G League Reject.
I got to tell you, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So it's not going to be a welcoming, nurturing environment.
No.
At all. But they better gird their loins, as Jim Fife used to say. They better get ready, because that's
I haven't heard that phrase in a long time.
Yeah,
that was Fifeism.
Yes, gird their loins. I don't even like to think about my loins, and certainly not about girding. I don't even know how would one gird one's loins.
Well, I mean, didn't Sheriff Buford T. Justice say something about loins?
Oh, yeah, something about how in the world did you ever come from my loins?
Boy, there ain't no way you came from my loins. Yeah, that was it.
If you guys don't know, last time we referenced Smokey and the Bandit was when Brian Jones was there. Brian Jones from CBS Sports. Who knew that he was a Smokey and the Bandit aficionado? But so you got that. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Did anybody watch any of the Pro Bowl last night? Which was nothing. I mean, you and I, one time, many years ago, John and I have been they had John and
Pro
Barry
Bowl.
night at the old Montgomery Wings semi-pro baseball game at Patterson Field. John and I were out there as the featured celebrities.
Tells you what kind of an attraction it was.
I remember when John and I were out there, I got to do the opening coin flip for the Montgomery Bears Indoor League Arena League football
we had arena
team.
Football.
And got to that was at Garrett Coliseum. I remember because it was an old Troy football star that was on that team. Got to hang with him. But it was a lot like a Montgomery Bears game, except nicer.
Yeah.
They played it in some conference room at the convention center where the Super Bowl is being housed. They're trying to prop up this Pro Bowl by associating it with the Super Bowl if they can. All the Super Bowl activities and all the team activities and all the media activities are taking place at this convention center.
I thought, Barry, it was like where the fan fest is for the SEC championship game. I'm thinking
kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that. And it was a big bunch of nothing. I don't even know if there was a line on that game. I mean, it was, there were cheerleaders and there was a few fans. And just in case you're wondering, the NFC won 66-52. Let's see. Dak Prescott threw 4 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts threw 3 touchdown passes. They had one play in the second half where they had Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott on the field together. Hurts lateraled it to Prescott, and Prescott threw the touchdown pass. Micah Parsons, the Green Bay linebacker who missed most of the season with an ACL, they let him play with his motorized scooter. That's what kind of a game that was. That was kind of funny.
Well, I'm not sure what type of crowd we were expecting. There again, there again, does it count if you're channel surfing and you stumble past it and stop on it for 15 seconds?
John has gotten a judge's ruling on that before. Did you watch it? Well, yeah, I watched it. Really? What'd you think? I don't know. I channel surfed and it was going through at 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped for a little bit, but no, I really didn't. So I there again, was there a crowd there? Not sure. Still don't know why they feel like they've got to do it, but that's their deal. Not mine. I'm not watching it.
So
really
now
doesn't isn't my cup of tea, as they say.
Now all the preliminaries are over. There'll be a few more parties, a little more shrimp cocktails, some vermouth, and all that stuff. Vodka. I mean, before the game itself, which is on Sunday, 5:30 NBC, Seattle versus New England. We've talked about it a little bit later on in this program. We'll talk with CJ Duncan from Yellowhammer News, NFL Experience. Josh Harris, the moneyline magician.
Yeah.
I know Plainsman Preston feels like he, just landed in a big pile of cash because he gets to see Josh Harris today. We'll talk with Josh about that and really kind of get things rolling later on in the week. We'll talk with Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports about, betting lines and angles and stuff in the Super Bowl. But we're really starting to ramp that up here on the program as well. And somebody pointed this out. Did not know, but it's true.
Okay.
Today is National Signing Day. It is the first Wednesday in February. If there's anybody who didn't sign, I don't know. I'm not even going to act like National Signing Day is not a thing anymore.
Barry, that completely slipped past me. I'm not beating myself up about it, but it completely slipped past me. And if you had not mentioned that just now, I would have probably gone all day and not thought about it. Now, back in the day, this was kind of a big deal. People got excited about it. It was the only day. I mean, looky, Fax Girl, Fax Cam, who's in?
Hey, your buddies, you had buddies, and I mean hardcore guys. John and I are in the sports business, and we were never this hardcore, guys that would take the day off.
Oh, yeah.
And sit at home. And this is old days. Nobody could use the phone because he was on it all day. And, you had all of your notes. You had 5 or 6 loose leaf binders. And, you had your extra pens. You had your red pen for 5 stars. You had your green pen for 4 stars. And that was a big deal.
We'd get a couple of extra Forrest Davis magazines, Jeff Whitaker, Super Preps, and the producer, LaRue, who was 15 at the time. Hey, man, can I have one of those recruiting magazines? I used to bait him with those. I don't know. If we have enough left, I might let you have one. The late, great LaRue, he loved those recruiting magazines. Now, we're really dating ourselves, Barry, when we talk about that was, wow, man. Back in those days, 25 years ago.
God,
no more magazines anymore. It's all on the internet.
Yeah. And I miss the magazines. I miss the grown men with the magazines. There were 2 magazines that grown men would get, and they'd shoo their wife away and shoo their kids away. And let me look at this magazine. Y'all don't bother me. That was one of them.
It was.
And, you never knew. Everybody had their own favorites. This guy was a Forrest Davis guy. This other guy, oh, man, Max Emfinger all day. They used to even argue about that. Well, Max Emfinger didn't say that. He had him as a 3-star. Well, Jeff Whitaker has him as a 5-star. Well, Jeff Whitaker doesn't know beans and used to get in fights.
This is my favorite pitch line. We've just loaded up Tennessee in slot number 4, so call our 900 number to get all the latest information on the Vols.
Mm-hmm.
It only costs $4.99 a minute.
And they'd say, they'd open up by saying, welcome in to our exclusive hotline brought to you by, and you have to listen to this little pitch and all this kind of stuff. And meanwhile, you've already spent $9 on it. Let's go here, Coming up, we'll break down our list of 5 stars and where they might. I don't want the whole list. I want this one guy, and then all of a sudden you paid $16 and you still hadn't even gotten to what you wanted to hear about. Those things were
speaking of 5 stars, speaking of numbers, football fans love to poke their chest out about numbers. Oh, we've done this, we've done that. We're ranked here, we're ranked there. I see a potential dangerous number coming up, and it's 0. Is 0 a number?
0?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I know 1 is the loneliest number, but this one might be even lonelier.
Oh, did you hear the lead singer for Three Dog Night, Chuck Negron? He died this week.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
he was 80-something years old. Anyway, that was a great song, Three Dog Night. Look it up, kids. 0 is a key number. Why is?
And I'm not talking about athletes that wear 0 on their jerseys.
No.
Something else.
Yes. Well, lots to get to here on the program today. Even though kind of a slow day in sports, we've still got stuff. He's John Longshore. He's in his main studio. I'm Barry McKnight. I'm in a hotel in downtown Atlanta, Georgia for Troy basketball tonight at 6 at Georgia State. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Start Something New sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokee's under $30,000 or up to $15,000 off. Wranglers $12,000 off and Gladiators $16,000 off. Only at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The Start Something New sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 CDJR dealer. New Rams $19,000 off or 0% for 6 years, and heavy duties $12,000 off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Montgomery Regional Airport
Hey,
is
bro,
getting better the
weirdest thing
more
is
you
happening
use
in
it.
the game. This
MGM
guy
offers
sitting next to me
multiple
says,
nonstop daily
"You're our
flights
good
to
luck charm."
Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Washington's Reagan National Airport via Delta and American Airlines. And beginning this April, MGM will offer daily nonstop flights to Houston's Intercontinental Airport via United Airlines. All of these cities offer easy connections to destinations all over the country and all over the world. Make travel more cost-effective and less stressful when you utilize your Montgomery Regional Airport. MGM, you can get there from here.
It's Longshore and McKnight. We are live from 7 until 9 in the morning, every weekday morning. So if you're watching us between 7 and 9, we're here live. We're talking as you're watching. But the beauty of this as well, and I have a lot of people, I would say that there are almost as many people watching it at any one time after 9 o'clock as there are that watch it live, which we love that, or listening live. I got a bunch of people that that make their commute or driving trucks and everything that are listening to us and not even looking at us, which some people think is a bonus. But there's a lot of different ways you can catch our content.
I was talking with our good friends at Yellowhammer News earlier this week, and we'll probably talk more about this on Friday because I've got some information I wanted to show you when we are together, informing me of the total number of views that we had on the Yellowhammer News Facebook page. And I was extremely impressed. And like you mentioned, Barry, most of our views and most of the people that listen to us do it outside of the 2-hour window in which we produce the show, which is now. We do it live from 7 until 9 a.m. But it is amazing to me. And there again, when we launched this 2 years ago, this was a very new platform for me. I'd heard about it. I knew people were doing it. I saw people doing it at SEC Media Days for a couple of years, but I just didn't know a lot about it, the ins and outs, the nuts and bolts. Yeah. And I really have been surprised and I really enjoyed learning more about how this works and how it's done and all the different ways that people can consume what we do. So really appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends and business associates. There again, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple Tunes. I'm sure there are others, but I really appreciate it. Our good friends at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com certainly help us out a lot. Thank you so much. Zero.
Why is that a topical, timely number to be discussing?
Can you recall, it wouldn't take much, probably pre-Nick Saban, Mike Shula. When was the last time Alabama did not have one player drafted in the first round of the NFL draft?
Oh, I remember there were drafts when they'd have like 6 of the 32.
Yep.
I can look it up. It has been
Mike Shula in the Mike Shula era, I would say.
John used to have a stock statement around draft time about NFL offensive line, or rather Alabama offensive linemen.
Now that was a long period of time.
It was like Chris Samuels. That used to be John's go-to. That's the only reason why I ever even remembered Chris Samuels in history, is because he was always the answer to John. Who's the last Alabama offensive lineman to be drafted? Chris Samuels.
Correct.
Back in the day.
And the reason I bring this up, Barry, is there is a lot of talk that Alabama will not have one player selected in the first round of this year's NFL draft. I don't disagree. I never thought Ty Simpson was a first-round draft pick, even when Todd McShay and Mel Kiper were doing backflips in October. Oh, he's a first-rounder, overall number 1 pick. I'm thinking, what, really? Now, this is from a guy that has missed on some quarterbacks going to the NFL. I'll tell you, I've missed on a few. I've hit on more, but the ones I've missed on, I still hear about today. But I don't think Ty Simpson's going to be a round one draft pick. Certainly don't think he's going to be the overall number one pick.
I'm looking. The last year that Alabama did not have a first-round draft pick was 2008. I'm not talking about a draft pick. I'm talking about a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Andre Smith got drafted in the first round in 2009. This is interesting. Andre Smith got drafted with the number 6 pick in 2009 by the Cincinnati Bengals. That was 17 years ago. Alabama has had at least one first-rounder in 17 consecutive NFL drafts. But before 2009, they had gone 9 years. Chris Samuels got drafted number 3 in 2000. They went almost the entire decade of the 2000s without a first-round draft pick. And they've had guys that you're looking at thinking, wait a minute, that guy was a first-round draft pick?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he was. DJ Fluker, Chance Warmack.
Oh, yeah.
Clinton Dix, who has made some Ryan Kelly was a good player, but he wasn't very famous.
And it's not going to shock me, Barry. And I'm kind of leaning that way. I'm kind of thinking, I just don't see any first-round draft picks. And there again, everybody was tooting their horn about Ty Simpson. I just don't think he's a number one draft pick. I don't think he's there yet. To me, he's a guy that needs 2 or 3 years in a NFL system to figure it out. Alabama, Barry, in 16 years, had 47 first-round picks in 16 years under Nick Saban. That's why you have so many national championship teams, so many teams that played for the national title, so many that won it. And if you don't have first-round talent, you're not going to win. So I know it's different today in terms of, recruiting 5 stars and having the number one class in the recruiting rankings and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter anymore. It's having the best talent you can obtain through the transfer portal. I mean, there again, look at how many players have left Alabama to go to Ohio State. Alabama thought they had the best running back in the portal. Boom, ended up at Texas. One kid went to Notre Dame this year. I tell you this, Barry, Caleb Downs will be a number one pick.
Oh, shoot. He'll be a top 5. Yeah. The number one rated, according to the one I'm looking at right now, is Caden Proctor, where his draft rating is number 15. Ty Simpson, number 16. That's not saying they'll be the number 16 pick because teams obviously are drafting by need. They're not saying, hey, who's the number one pick? Who's the highest rated left on the board? Well, it's a quarterback. Well, we got 3 quarterbacks, so it's not that. Yeah. But there are 15 players that are a better draft prospects right now than anybody from Alabama, and that's weird. That is strange.
Tobias says if Proctor would have swallowed his pride and switched to guard, he might be a first rounder. Well,
he might still be. They may draft him as a guard.
Yeah.
But maybe that did cost him a few spots.
Way offsides. Anyway. Jeff wants to know who's picking at the bottom of the first round. Well, my guess would be New England and Seattle would be the bottom of the first round, but unless there's a trade involved somewhere. So maybe Seattle will go with 2 Alabama quarterbacks in back-to-back years. I don't think that's
a lot of people think it'll be Fernando Mendoza, number 1, to the Raiders, who have got a new coach. The final pick in the draft, the Falcons don't even have a first-round pick. Yeah. Neither do the Packers.
And the Saints certainly don't need a quarterback because we've got our quarterback. And quickly before we go to break, Barry, I did get some news that leaked out. I know the NFL has not officially released their schedules for the upcoming season, but allegedly Not only will the Saints play on Monday night this fall, they got a couple of Sunday night matchups. They got a game in Paris they're playing. Telling you, watch out. I saw with my own eyes in December. I can see this team, that the pieces are there. I don't know how we're going to replace Taysom Hill. I will say
Goodell has said that there's going to be a lot more overseas games. He wants every team in the league to play overseas, or not overseas, but out of the country, Mexico or Canada or whatever.
Yeah.
Every
One
year.
of the reports I heard, Barry, they want to go to 18 games. There's been a little push about that. There's been a little friction whether they're going to go to 18 regular season games.
Yep.
And if they do that, 16 of the 18 weeks, somebody's playing overseas.
Yeah. Every week somebody's playing there. That's what he's saying. Not every team, every week. When we come back, our guy C.J. Duncan will join us. Yep. John's looks like he's the only one not in the hotel room going to be on this show. It's Longshore and McKnight.
Like CJ's got a meeting. He's got the sport coat on. He's ready to go.
Yep. So we better hustle. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316. All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, about 27 minutes to the top of the hour on a Wednesday. That means our man C.J. Duncan, Yellowhammer News, hops on with us as he does each and every week. Hey, C.J., how you doing today, my man?
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing?
Doing really well. It's like CJ is on the other side, on the other end of the floor here at the hotel over there. Appreciate you joining us. We know how busy you are. Let me ask you this. Put on an NFL executive's hat. Who do you like? If you're a, the draft guru for the Las Vegas Raiders, are you taking Mendoza? I mean, are you looking for a splash, somebody who has just an explosive upside, or are you looking for somebody solid? Are you taking risks if you have the first pick in the NFL draft, or are you playing it safe?
Well, I think each draft is different, and you've got to base it on what is available to you in that particular draft. And I think right now, what this year is giving these GMs, I think Mendoza's a great pick, just because there's consistency there. There's
right.
You feel like you're stable with this guy. This guy can handle the lights of Las Vegas, but also he turns out to be a pretty good football player too. He's 6'5", big body, pretty good arm, very competitive. Doesn't really get rattled much. That's just the kind of guy you need in Las Vegas. They need more consistency, and I think that he can bring that to that organization.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's been kind of one that's been down and out. They certainly could use a big shot in the arm. Speaking of Vegas, I didn't know this, but I think next year's national championship game on January the 25th is going to be played in Las Vegas. I know UNLV plays out there, but should college football's national championship game be played in Vegas?
I guess the game is getting bigger and bigger. It's more about the businesses that are sponsoring and all the TV, etc. It's becoming more like the Super Bowl is what it sounds like. But to your point, that's not necessarily college football country. I would love for it to stay on this side of the country. But as the game gets bigger, they're going to expand.
Yeah. See, all right, I'll go ahead and ask you. We promised our viewers we'd ask you this, and we're going to put you on the spot. Who do you like on Sunday? Seahawks? Do you like the way that that New England is playing? Who do you like? What's it going to come down to? What are you looking for?
You know what? I'm rolling with the Patriots. And that's against a lot of my buddies in the group messages. They're going the Hawks way, but I've always been that way. If everybody goes left, I may want to go right. So, but I really do like what Vrabel has done, and how he's motivating his guys. He's a team player coach, but he's also stern enough for them to fear him just a little bit. And I think that's a good mixture of what you want as a head coach. And I just think he does really well in the details of things. When it comes to game management, time management, he does a really good job. And then you add that with J Mack, the offensive coordinator. Yep. They're keeping Drake May's head straight. They got an excellent run defense, probably one of the best in the league. I think if I were their defensive coordinator, I would probably put Gonzalez on Cooper Kupp and then double JSN on the other side, make Sam Darnold beat you in between the hashes. So I really do think they have a really good chance. The Super Bowl is not necessarily about the wow plays or trying to be super explosive. It's about just winning a football game. Time of possession, making the right third down conversions. If you do those kind of things and don't let the moment get too big, I think you got a really good chance. And I feel like the Patriots do that better than anybody. They've won a game scoring 40 points. They've won a game scoring 10 points.
That's a great point.
And that's a real football team, in my opinion. I think they're ready for any type of game that they'll see this weekend.
You hear about it in professional leagues, baseball, basketball, NFL. They just recycle the coaches. It's never anybody new. It's just somebody going to a different team. And as you well know, Vrabel's was in Nashville with the Titans, didn't go well, ends up in New England. I've always wondered, it's not about the coaches. It's about the players that you have at your disposal. Just seems like the coaches are the ones that always take the hits and get fired, which, you can't fire your whole team. I get that, but it's amazing where he's landed at a spot where he's been ultra successful.
Yeah, you know what? And I don't think he got enough credit when he was with Tennessee. That team was a really good ball club. I think they lost in the AFC Championship game at one point. He really brought them to some real notoriety there for a little while, and had disagreements with the front office, so they moved on from him. And what a lot of people don't know is he was with Cleveland for a little while. He was in their building. Mike Vrabel was in Cleveland's building, and they didn't hire him. They didn't hire him full time as their head coach, and then he goes to New England and flips a 4-13 team. So I agree. It does have a lot to do with players, and bringing a guy on like Stephon Diggs, who's at times has been called a diva, but also he's kind of a matured receiver now that brings a lot of energy to the team. But then you also have Drake May that kind of levels you out a little bit, where he's just very stoic, never gets too high, never gets too low. Gonzalez on the other end, he's one of those kind of quiet assassin kind of guys too. So I think they have the right mixture of guys to where there's not a whole lot of bumping heads. There's not a whole lot of egos really rubbing against each other. So that's why I feel like they have a really good chance this weekend to win this game.
It's interesting, and I if you have insight on this, I'd love to hear it. You mentioned how they've handled Drake May. I think they've they've been patient with him. They've developed him. They haven't asked too much of him in his career, not just this year, and he's really blossoming. But on the other side, I mean, there's probably guys who are, kind of hanging out on the fringe of the NFL, really believing in themselves now because, my gosh, if Sam Darnold can do it, I can do it. He came out as, a high draft pick quarterback, face of the franchise, didn't work out, bounced around a little bit, 3 or 4 teams without much success. And he goes to Minnesota last year and just explodes. And now he's in Seattle having a great year. Is it how they've handled him? Is it scheme with him working? How has he struggled so much? And then all of a sudden, he's starting in the Super Bowl, CJ.
Sometimes you have to be reminded that you are who you think you are. And I think Sam Darnold went a few years of not necessarily having that confidence that he once probably had when he was at USC or some of these other places, because Sam Darnold's always had the talent. But he's never really been able to put it together in the NFL. But I think once he got to Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, he reminded him, hey, man, you've got a lot of talent. You can make all the throws. You can manage an offense. These are the things that you are capable of. Let's just put it all on tape. And so, between him, the stop in San Francisco with Shanahan and then getting to Kevin O'Connell, I think it really did bring a lot of confidence to him. And if you think about it, all those guys kind of have the same system as well. So he's gotten very comfortable with the system. Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, now Clint Kubiak, I think his name is, or Kubiak, or whatever it is, in Seattle. I think they all kind of run the same system. So he's very comfortable in that system. And it's no surprise that he's been successful this year.
We talking about the NFL and rosters and players that you have at your disposal. Earlier today, Barry and I were talking about the draft in terms of Alabama. I don't see a first-round pick in April when the NFL draft pops up. That will be something that hadn't happened in about 17 years. What are your thoughts about Alabama's overall roster, the talent level? We talked about kids that have moved on. Caleb Downs, he'll be a number 1 first-round pick. What's that say about Alabama's roster in this past year, what it might look like in 2026?
You know what? That sounds about right. It feels like all the guys that were probably potential first round picks, they're at other schools now. And I think some of the younger guys may have a chance if they continue to progress in their careers. Dijon Lee Jr., I believe his name is, the corner for Alabama. I think one day he'll have an opportunity to be a first round pick just with his height, his length, and ability. I think he'll have a real shot. I think scouts will like him. But based on what we're seeing right this second, I don't see any first round picks either. But that comes from recruiting, and recruiting at the high school level and developing guys into being the player that they can be. But if you don't do that at a high level, then it's going to be very hard to have first round picks. That's a very special title to have, to be a first rounder.
All right, not asking for anything definitive here. Is it a possibility, CJ, that there's some ill will, some bad feelings? Because that's the only reason I can think of why Bill Belichick wasn't named to the Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think it's personal. You know what?
I do too.
I think the Patriots as a whole have been kind of the Patriots versus the world versus everybody kind of thing. Probably one of the more hated franchises that we've seen, at least in my generation, where they won so many games, but there were so many folks that just didn't want to see them win those games. And so you're starting to see that show a little bit, not only Coach Belichick, but the owner, Robert Kraft, and who's to say that Brady doesn't get in next year, right?
Yeah.
I do think that there is something to people wanting all three of them to go in together, and it be just kind of a Patriots Hall of Fame induction. because I don't know, maybe Gronk is also maybe eligible too next year. So you may have like a full Patriots lineup. And I could definitely see that happening as well, where they kind of push Robert Kraft and Belichick to another year, and then they just have a Patriots induction ceremony, which I think will be pretty cool. But you like for them to go ahead and tell us that, and not to feel like we've disrespected, the greatest coach and maybe the greatest owner of all time.
Yeah, that's interesting because I heard Tom Brady talking about that yesterday. He was asked about Belichick not getting in, but I didn't think about that. That's a neat scenario of maybe just having this big Patriots Hall of Fame ceremony in a year or two. I think that would be really, really cool. But they certainly will make it one day. I mean, I think we'll all agree they're going to be there.
There's no doubt. I think they shut down the whole program if those guys don't get in. Lock the doors, throw the key away if those guys don't get in.
Yeah,
I don't know, CJ. To me, I mean, if they showed a Pro Football Hall of Fame induction, and you've got Belichick, and you've got Robert Kraft, and you've got Brady Arman, that's nauseating to me. Come on, let's not do that. That's
you
gross.
know what? This is what they say. They said if you can't tell the story of the NFL without this person, then you've got to celebrate them. And so that is where we are with the Patriots and their dynasty. And I think this Super Bowl actually puts them ahead of the Steelers if they win the most Super Bowls in NFL history by one franchise. So also a very historic weekend coming up if they get the job done.
Barry, that sounds similar to back in the day, kind of going back to the NFL draft when Saban would roll out there on the stage and there'd be 4, 5, 6 of his players in the first round. Everybody's going, "Oh, I'm tired of seeing this guy and all this talent from Alabama." That kind of sounds similar to your scenario.
John, people hate winning for whatever reason. I don't know why it's such a bad thing.
That's fair. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. Great to have you as always. And
where are you today? Just out of curiosity.
I'm in our nation's capital.
I kind of thought you were.
I'm up here for a quick meeting, quick turnaround. But the wife is back home, very, very much pregnant. So this may be my last trip. Yeah, this is my last one. So
that's awesome. Safe travels. And I think there's still a little snow on the ground up there in DC. So be careful as you walk around.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I need some new shoes actually. They to get more grip out here in DC.
I bet.
Understand. Yep. Appreciate you, CJ. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. See you guys.
You too, buddy. We'll talk next week. That's CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. Yep, he's got a baby on the way.
Yeah.
CJ, good stuff.
Yeah, that is good. It's interesting, his perspective on the NFL and stuff. People, to get into what John was talking about earlier about, that one for Alabama players in the NFL draft.
Yep.
I mean, it was nauseating for a while. It was the most nauseating thing was it's like the Senior Bowl when Saban would show up. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you got NFL coaches all over the place everywhere. You've got high-profile draft prospects all over the place. You got Mel Kiper. You got Chris Berman. And, here comes Saban. And everybody would, they'd be talking to, like, Belichick, or they'd be talking to Sean Payton or somebody. And they'd, like, cut it off and, Saban's here? All right, yeah, let's cut this short. They don't run to him. And why not? I mean, look at this. First round picks in the 2021 draft. To me, that was 2021. Alabama had 6 picks in the 2021 draft. Not in the draft.
Yep.
In the first round of the draft. To me, that's the biggest. Of course, the 2020 team in the COVID year may have been the best Alabama team I ever saw.
Why do you think Saban was so eger? Yeah, we're playing. Come on, Greg, get these. We have to play these games. Come on now.
Look at this.
2021
Jalen Waddle was the 6th overall pick. Patrick Surtain was the 9th pick. Devontae Smith was the 10th pick. They had 3 of the first 10. Then Mac Jones went 15th. Alex Leatherwood went 17th. Najee Harris went 24th. That is 6 of the top 24 picks in 2020. 1/4 of the first 24 picks, 1 out of every 4 was an Alabama player.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting.
And this is after the year before when they had 4 first-round picks with 2 Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs and all of those guys. No wonder they were all trying to figure out how does Saban do it. That was
And I mean, we saw that at media days. I mean, Saban would roll in, they'd bring him in through the loading dock and through the kitchen, kind of like the scene in Goodfellas, because the media mob was trying to find him. And once he came out onto the floor there at media days, oh, look, there's Saban. I've seen that guy. Come on, that's old news. But everybody else was falling at his feet, going crazy. And certainly was the same way at the draft. But I don't see it. And the numbers certainly prove it out that when you've got first-round draft picks littered all over your roster, you're going to win. And Alabama's not going to have a first-round pick in April. I don't see it. And what does that tell you?
It doesn't tell you anything. Again, I'm a little bit queasy here just even talking about this, because I remember back in the summer at SEC Media Days and heading into the season, John planted his feet firmly in the ground, set his shoulders, and he told everybody, Alabama is not going to win the national championship this year. And it was like, Chip Diller in the parade in Animal House. All is well. People were screaming, what? How can you say that? John's dissing Alabama. Alabama can't win the national championship every year. John said that. Now he's saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you it's highly likely that Alabama is not going to have a first-round draft pick. What?
Yeah.
How have things? Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
I think it just goes to show you one of the reasons Alabama played so poorly at times last season. You wouldn't have seen that happen under Saban.
Yeah.
Were there again, no bell cow running back, none at all. A 5-star wide receiver that went MIA. Offensive line issues all over the board. And let's face it, that defense wasn't as dominating as some of the ones that Saban had. So you could see the talent level had dropped off dramatically. And in April, it's going to prove out again. They're not there. The NFL's not interested. And do you think it's going to be – do you think there's anybody on that roster now that's going to make it any different in 26? I mean, we kind of hinted at it yesterday and Monday. I just don't have a lot of, upside. I mean, there again, if I'm not buying Alabama stock today. I'm not thinking about it.
It's an embarrassment of riches. This is how bad it's gotten. We may not have a first-round draft pick. Well, there are schools in the SEC who haven't had a first-round draft pick in forever. Alabama, we don't have one? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This to even drive it home even further, John. Bill from Baltimore. Will Auburn have a player drafted higher this year than Alabama? Keldrick Falk, shout out to the Flying Squadron of Highland Home. Keldrick Falk is probably top 10, and I'm not sure if anyone in Alabama will be.
That's a good point.
Has it fallen that far where Auburn has a player drafted? Okay. I know what a lot of you are thinking.
Are you wanting me to go 2013 and say, how have they fallen so far? So fast. Yeah. I should have. That was a good one.
And I this is a good point from Bob from Pike Road. And again, I would have loved to see the 2020 Alabama team, which, I kept thinking, holy smokes. I mean, they don't have a weakness. They don't even have a semblance of a weakness. That was the Tua class. That was a COVID year when they played in front of empty stadiums, and you only played SEC games, and Alabama ran the table. I would have loved to have seen a full-blown college football playoff that year. Bob from Pike Road says this, Barry, the 2020 Bama is the best college football team ever. And it really isn't close. They would dog walk 2019 LSU, best college football team ever.
Oh, wow.
And it would dog walk 2019 LSU and 2021 Miami. 2019 LSU, again, that was just a combination of factors. You had Joe Burrow healthy. You had Jamar Chase. You had, as good of an offense as I've had. Joe Brady, who's now the head coach of the Bills, was the offensive coordinator for LSU, and he knew. They won the national championship going away with Ed Orgeron as the coach. The one main reason why I think 2020 Alabama would beat 2019 LSU is that late in the game, Orgeron would make a stupid decision and Saban would capitalize and they'd win it. 2001 Miami is the one that Bob remembers. 2001 Miami. Remember they had Ohio State in the championship game. Miami had Ed Reed, they had Ray Lewis, they had Willis McGahee, they had, holy smokes. But Larry Coker was the coach of that team.
20 season, and you're right. That was a really, really good team. I mean, they were solid across the board. And I think Saban knew it and was doing everything he could to get the season started and pressuring Greg Sankey to say, we're playing.
Let's go.
We're going to play. Then the Big Ten fell in line as well. But as I think back on it, Barry, in the reasoning and the rationale that the people told us out there of why it was okay to play football. The game was played in Dallas. It was the Rose Bowl, but they played the game in Dallas because California wouldn't let you play. Flew out there on a plane. Everybody had a mask on, but there were, planes full. And I get it. The air's recirculating all the time. But there again, you're still sitting close to a lot of people. Had to take your mask down to drink your Coke or whatever they served you. And then you get to the stadium and nobody's sitting in front of you or behind you. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I've got a better chance of getting COVID, sitting next to somebody in a stadium than these guys that are tackling one another and in a pile together and getting up and they're like this close
sweating,
to one another, without a mask on. I mean, how did we fall for that?
The thing I remember about the COVID year in terms of football. I mean, there's a lot of things I remember about the year itself. Troy played at BYU that year. BYU had Zach Wilson, who ended up being the number 2 pick in the draft, didn't do anything. Excited, went out to Provo, which was a heavy lockdown. Played the game at BYU Stadium, which is huge. It's like 100,000, 90,000, something like that. And we're doing the game, and there ain't a soul there. I mean, you had the team's referees and the managers, and that was it. Literally, there was not a soul in the stands. Nobody, not chaperones or ushers or nothing. And I remember doing the game. And somebody threw something in the stands. One of the coaches got mad and threw a bottle of water in the stands. You could hear it on our broadcast. A bottle of water, a half full bottle of water hitting the stand. Pong. It was.
Look at video of the Alabama LSU game. They played in Baton Rouge that year. There was nobody there.
I remember that game.
You're thinking this is eerie. The Iron Bowl was the same way. It was eerie. There again, I was at that Alabama Notre Dame game, that Rose Bowl game in Dallas. And not to make light of it, but the one good thing about it, I could go to the bathroom, no lines. Go get a beer, no lines. I mean, it was like, wow, I'm the only one here kind of thing. But it was eerie because there was nobody in the row in front of us and nobody in the row behind us. And there were probably 6 of us. And there were probably 20 seats on the row, and we only took up 6 of the 20 seats. It was an eerie situation.
But and it was a shame. Bill from Baltimore points out, I think Alabama would have been, the 2001 Miami. Bob's smart to bring that one up. Everybody talks about 2019 LSU because they were so good offensively. But the 2001 Miami, they may be the only team to rival 2020 Alabama. But Miami that year played in front of full crowds and unrestricted and all that, there were no distractions in terms of that. I'd love to have seen that 2020 Alabama team really get rolling and really get, the accolades because, what they did, they were really good. Now, also, this is how you know you're hardcore.
Okay.
This is how you know you're hardcore, John and Barry. Plainsman Preston said, the thing I remember about the COVID year was being in the hospital and emailing John and Barry from my room.
How about that? Way to go.
Gosh.
Man, that is great for you to bring up Plainsman Preston, but I do have some bad news for you. Josh Harris has to reschedule to Friday. Meeting popped up. I know you were setting your morning waiting for Josh Harris at the bottom of hour number 2.
Money line
business
magician
does not stop, or money never sleeps. So he'll join us Friday right after Lee Sterling before Ralph Michaels. But fear not, because our man Will Fisher, RTJ Golf, Cambrian Ridge, who was ill last week, had the 101 fever. He is back, ready to go. Plenty of vitamin C. He'll join us at the bottom of hour number 2 today as well. So I do just want to throw that out there to you as well. But Barry, we've had a lot of people go the extra mile to make sure that they got in touch with us somehow, some way, whether it's from a bed, in a hospital, on a laptop during COVID, or maybe in a bathtub or sitting on the toilet. I mean, we've had examples of that.
We've had that. We had Big C one time. He's talking with us, and you could hear kind of an echo. And talking with us, hey, big man, and we heard a splash. John and I were in different locations. We heard a splash, and I'm thinking, that's weird. And John says, Big C, I got to stop you right here. Are you taking a bath? And he laughed, and he says, yeah, big man, I'm in the bathtub, and then I was.
But his response to my next question was priceless. Well, Big C, you don't take a shower? Hey, man, water gets cold before it leaves the shower head and hits me.
That's true. It goes a little farther before it gets to Big C.
I said, Big C, serious. He also flushed.
Bama Pride says in a tree stand. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tree stands. Heck, yeah, gotten that. But for Dr. B, Dr. B's communicated to us through a tree stand. Was it Big C or Walter Pulley that flushed the toilet on us one day?
That was Walter.
And speaking of that, Barry, we'll let you and all of our audience know. Walter Pulley called me earlier this week. Had not heard from Walter in quite a while.
Right.
Walter lives in Prattville, and he wanted me to tell you and wanted our audience to know that his mother is not doing well, and wanted everybody out there to pray for Miss Pulley. And I said, Walter, you can count on it. Thank you so much for getting in touch with me. I'll be sure to tell Barry that. And because he did. He said, please tell Barry that. I said, I will. Don't you worry.
We'll pray for
everybody else to send out a prayer for Miss Pulley.
That's a great lady. Now, we've gone riffed with CJ Duncan. It's been about a half hour since we've taken a break. We are into hour number 2.
Back in the day, folks, when we had to take breaks at a set time, hard breaks,
it was glorious.
Out. Come on, we got to take a break. Let's go.
Glorious. John's like, wait a minute, I'm not done talking to you. We used to have a hard time getting out at the end of the program because on the radio you had to get out the top. John says, wait a minute, I'm not done talking to you. And that was. Let's just jump in. Okay. A little love to our sponsors on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and $25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino is located off I-85, exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Man, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 5 minutes past the hour here on this rainy Wednesday. Be careful out there. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. Longshore McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, in association with our good friends at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. You can check us out there every day on the Yellowhammer News Facebook page, yellowhammernews.com. There's a write-up about the show each and every afternoon as well. Of course, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple Tunes. If I'm missing something, you probably know.
We got one guy that always texts me, and John says Apple Tunes, and it's not called Apple Tunes, but you know what he means. Yeah. Just yeah. So, you can get Apple Podcasts, you can get iTunes, you can get, just let him roll with that. He's in that habit. Suffice to say that we are everywhere.
Like in, Belushi, when he said, did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? I mean, it's kind of like that. You know what I mean?
This is what's funny sometimes, and it happens a lot on TigerInsider.com message boards and on social media, where somebody will say, they'll have that reference, and people won't get the reference. They'll say, I can't believe you're giving up on this team. Did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? And sure enough, within the next 5 minutes, somebody will say, the Germans didn't bomb Pearl Harbor, the Japanese did. And they say, oh, you didn't get the joke. Don't you understand? Listen, that was 46 years ago, that movie. I mean, unless you're over 60 or haven't been fortunate enough or cultured enough to watch it many, many times since it came out in theaters, as John and I have, people aren't going to get that. Oh, well, you don't get the joke. We're cool because we get it because we watched Animal House and all that. And, that was 46 years ago. How much cooler is that right now? Yeah, Plainsman Preston says, Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, and says, forget it. He's on a roll. So we are in hour number 2 of the program. Yep. It is Longshore and McKnight. In hour number 2, a little bit later on, Plainsman Preston still with us. I thought he would ditch us when he found out Josh Harris had to reschedule for Friday. So
no kidding.
He's still with us. And a big happy birthday today to Mrs. Chris the Bammer, who is celebrating today.
Oh, okay.
She was actually born the year that Animal House was released into theaters. We get into hour number 2.
Did he actually tell us how old his wife is here today on the chat line? Okay.
Well, maybe.
46?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good he says today is Mrs. Chris the Bammer's 46th birthday.
Awesome.
From Chris the Bammer. We're getting stuff. I'm getting stuff about Auburn. Michael Casagrande wrote this story about how he is buying into Alex Golesh. He's liked him from the start. Yep. Now he really likes him. Mm-hmm. They're answering some questions. They're filling out their roster. Everybody's nowadays. We had a question earlier about the transfer portal, and the transfer portal has closed.
Okay.
Which means that nobody else can enter the transfer portal. Who you've got on your roster is your basic. Those guys that are on your roster right now aren't leaving. You can still add, though. You can still bring guys in off the transfer portal. Somebody was asking about that. There were like 10,000 players or something, a big number, in the transfer portal, and about 40% of them are still in the transfer portal. Why are they still in the transfer portal? Because, number one, nobody's interested in them, plain and simple. Number two, these guys thought that they'd get big money from somebody. And here's the thing. We talked with it yesterday from Brian Matthews. The teams have spent all their money. Their budget is gone.
Yep.
So anybody you see right now, we've got this late edition from the transfer portal. Alabama got this guy the other day, this running back the other day. There was a transfer from Appalachian State and from Tennessee. I'd never heard of the guy, and I've called Appalachian State games. He had like 160 career yards, and he's a senior. Probably a great kid. Nothing personally against him. But there's a reason why Alabama signed that guy, because he's played a little bit. He's had some experience. He had some depth, and he ain't costing them any money. They don't have any money left. So the guys you see now in the transfer portal that you sign from it are guys that are not getting anything extra other than the revenue share money.
And it's interesting, Barry, because
so basically what your roster is right now, John?
Yeah.
Are the guys you're rolling with. There ain't no big bombshell transfer portal guy that you can look at and say, man, if we could just get a 5-star quarterback, our roster. No, there ain't no more 5-star quarterbacks left.
Yeah, I think that's so interesting because you hear all of these numbers of people entering the portal, but there's only so many spots available. Yeah. I don't know if they realize that or not, or they're being advised in the wrong way. But, you've heard the term shoot out of luck, I guess is the nice way to put it. And that's where those guys are today. Man, I hate it for
because
you. Yeah.
Here's what a lot of, this is not everyone. Every case is different. But you get guys who had an okay year for your club or are just testing the market.
Yeah.
And, they'll talk in the exit interviews with their coaches, and the coaches are saying, man, you've got a spot with us. I mean, we value you. You've been a good part of the program. You've got a spot with us.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I think I'm a Power 4 player, or I think I'm an SEC player, or I can play for a national championship caliber team. And they say, really don't think you should. Well, my advisor here, he says that I'm a potential first-round draft pick running back if I just get in the right spot. We don't see that. We're trying to be honest with you. So he goes in the portal. Agent says, man, here we go. I'm ready to start fielding offers, and, mothballs or moths are flying around, and there's crickets. I'll be patient. Be patient. We know. I mean, you're an NFL back and everything. And so you're waiting, and nobody's interested. And your agent, he's like, man, I'm wasting my time here. All of a sudden, he's not returning your phone calls, and you're thinking, man, I got to be somewhere. I got to go to school. I've got, this and that and all that. I'll take anything. And now, like John says, number one, there's very, very, very few spots open. You may go to Tarleton State or Mercer or something like that, but you're saying, hey, man, what's the deal? I got to find this. I got to go this. And so you call your old coach. Says, man, you sure were right. I made a big mistake. I never should have gotten in the transfer portal. You told me, Coach, can I come back? And Coach says, man, I'm sorry. We don't have a spot for you.
Barry, it's kind of like
we pleaded with you. And now what about those kids who get the bad advice, who overstate their own worth? Man, I'm an NFL first-round pick if I can just go to the right spot. Well, you only rushed 16 times for your team this past year. Why? And these kids, they're not victims because they make their own decisions and all that. They're screwed.
Barry, it's kind of like, well, a guy that rushes for 1,200 yards and the new team he wants to go to says, well, who'd you play? Who'd you churn that yardage up against? We don't need you.
So
sometimes the truth can hurt. It's kind of like,
this is an Auburn reference for the uninitiated.
It's kind of like when you think that girl over there is cuter than the girl that you're currently dating, that girlfriend you've had for a couple of years, and you're thinking, maybe I need to see what it's like on the other side over here. And then you find out, oh, this just isn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Then you go back to her, and she says, ain't happening. And you're begging and pleading, and you're teary-eyed and all that kind of stuff, and nope, not going to happen.
Sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side. And I blame a lot of it because of, the transfer portal, because of unregulated agents who, don't know what they're doing. Oh, man, you're a first-round NFL draft pick. Well, you're 5'9", 180, and all you've played in your college career is special teams. Oh, man, all you need is a better opportunity. And no, I mean, you don't think that your coach, whether it's Group of Five or lower Power Four or Division II, you don't think if you were a great player that he would play you?
Yeah.
Football is the great equalizer. If you can play, it doesn't matter whether you're green or black or scholarship or walk-on or 5-star or 3-star. They're going to play you if you're the better player. And you're thinking, man, they just don't understand why they're missing out. I'm a diamond in the rough.
See, Barry,
but you're going to stay in the rough because you ain't getting out in the fairway anymore.
Think the world owes them something. And kids today need to go through a period of time like I did from 1980 to 83, thinking I was, good and realizing, I just wasn't as good as I thought I was. It was one of life's lessons. It was hard to take, hard to swallow, but looking back on it, Charles Lee did me a favor in more ways than one.
Yes.
And kids today, well, I don't know, I'll just leave and I'll go somewhere else. The heck with him.
And they realize the world is not there to allow you to shine. What you get out of it, what you put into it.
That's right.
And, just because you're not a first-team All-SEC quarterback doesn't diminish your value. There's a lot of backup quarterbacks who have wonderful careers in sports media, a lot of second-team offensive linemen who make a lot of money, have wonderful wives, great kids, good family, and all that. They just didn't play in the league, and that's all right. There's the kids out there that need some direction, not just in an honest appraisal of how good you are, but an honest appraisal of what it's going to take to get better. Oh man, you just wait. This school will offer you, and you'll get your chance, and you'll no. What you need to do is you need to work harder where you're at, by and large, and get better where you are, bloom where you're planted, instead of, oh, man, it's going to be so much easier on me if I just change schools. That's the difference maker. It's the school that's holding me back. It's not me that's holding me back. Very rarely that's true.
Still need direction. You kidding me? Hey, I'm seeing a lot of conversation on the River Region Straw chat line. Our viewers and listeners are thinking ahead, and they're smart because Valentine's Day is fast approaching, about 10 days from now. And I see what people are thinking about. One guy says, I'm going to be in my recliner on Valentine's. Wow, I wish I could get away with that, says someone else. Talking about going out to eat, cooking at home, whatever it may be. Flowers are a waste. I get it. But folks, you can't go wrong with this. Marguerites for Valentine's. And Valentine's means marguerites. And Marguerites has everything the special person in your life wants. Rings, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, in all shapes and sizes of diamonds. They have the special gifts that will bring happiness and joy for decades and decades. For your convenience, Marguerite's is open 7 days a week. That's right, 7 days a week. So very convenient to just drop by, pick out a gift that will surprise the Valentine in your life. Now, Marguerite's located there on Vaughn Road, 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree. It's adjacent to Chappie's Deli. So go by and see our friends there at Marguerite's. They'll take care of you. Valentine's, that is how you make the Valentine in your life happy and put a big smile on their face. A gift from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
I know how you guys are. You're looking to say, okay, give me an example. Well, you're looking at two examples right here.
Yeah.
What John and I don't know about jewelry could fill the Library of Congress. We go there and have done so for years and said, look, Valentine's Day, what should I think about? Should I get this? Well, yeah, we've got plenty of those, but I know from working with you before, or from, you telling me about her, that she really likes tennis bracelets or whatever. They can walk you through the jewelry buying process. There's two things you have to be prepared for. Number one, you have to be prepared for a huge selection, but it's not overwhelming. They'll walk you through and all that, and you'll leave with the absolute perfect Valentine's jewelry piece for that loved one. Number two, John, you got to be prepared. If you're fortunate enough to have your parents or your in-laws in town, you got to be prepared to make that phone call and say, hey, can you keep the kids Valentine's night? Because
you might even get the whole weekend, because when she sees that gift from Marguerite's, exquisitely wrapped in that beautiful gift wrap, she's going to tell her mom and dad, the kids are staying with y'all all weekend. You catch our drift here, folks? You see what we're saying?
We don't want to come
between the lines.
Marguerite's.
That's your Valentine gift.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. 8163 Vaughn Road at Peppertree in Montgomery, Alabama.
How about another one of our fine sponsors, Barry, that is growing and growing, as so many of our sponsors have over the years that we've been a part of them. Our good friend, Kenny at River Region Straw, lets me know earlier today that they're expanding even further. They're in Montgomery.
Right.
They're in Prattville. They're in Auburn. Look for them up in the Birmingham area as well, around Chelsea, which is they're kind of a suburb of Birmingham. River Region Straw is going to open up a location there. So congratulations to Kenny and his staff. Of course, premium long needle pine straw, seasoned firewood to keep you warm during these cold days and nights. 669-5959. That's 669-5959. Way to go, Kenny. Congratulations.
Love it.
Growing even bigger with River Region Straw.
Now, coming up, it's the Phantom's Daily Dog in just a moment.
I guess.
A recap of yesterday and serving up another one hot and fresh, hot and ready today.
Yep, guess we have to.
It's next. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Divers Ford of Montgomery is ranked top 100 in the nation for 8 consecutive years. With deals like these, it's no wonder why. F-150s for 16 grand off, or Lariat 4x4s for under 56 grand. And Super Duties, 12 grand off.
Divers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Divers Ford of Montgomery is ranked top 100 in the nation for 8 consecutive years. With deals like these, it's no wonder why. Broncos for 12 grand off. Bronco Sports for 10 grand off. And Explorers for under 31 grand or 10 grand off.
Divers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. 23 minutes past the hour on this Wednesday. We talked a little bit about whatever they call this Pro Bowl deal last night. I didn't watch a lot of it because I was watching a little Celtic Maverick NBA action last night.
Fair.
Believe it or not. And even when I turned it on, the little lady said, they don't play a lot of defense. That sure is a lot of points in this game. I went, oh, that's a good observation, honey. I'm proud of you for that. That's pretty good.
As a matter of fact, there were 210 points scored in that game, which was under the posted total.
It a lot of shots, not a lot of defense. Dallas was a home underdog. They were getting 7.5 in the game. And let's just put it, I don't know if this makes you feel any better, but they were losing by more than 10 most of the night. So what are you saying? Well, they did cut it to 10. Well, they did. They were down in the 20s most of the time I was watching. But 10's still not good enough because they were only catching 7.5 at home. So,
they end up losing by 10. Celtics 110, Mavericks 100. That is a final score. And the Phantoms' daily dog, the dog just couldn't get where they needed to get to.
Couldn't do it. 2.5 points off.
Sometimes life is that way.
It could have been 2.5 million. It wouldn't have mattered. So we take an L last night. Let's just don't try to sugarcoat it.
No, it was not a W.
It was not a W.
Not even a P.
And I've said this before. Mama said there'd be days like that. Yeah.
Mama said there'd be days like that. Mama said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mama said it.
But then again, John Lennon once sang, nobody told me there'd be days like these.
Yeah,
strange days indeed. What do we got today? That was yesterday.
We're going to kind of take a break from the NBA and go NCAA men's college basketball.
Nice.
Specifically in the Southeastern Conference.
There's two offerings tonight.
Yep. An early and a late game.
Yep. In
one of the games, Barry, and this is the game that I'm focusing on, as of this moment, 66% of the bets have been placed on this team. 72% of the money has been bet on this team. Now you're thinking, what's the difference? Obviously, total number of bets. There might be 5,000 bets on the game. Total amount of money, there might be $25,000.
Everybody's not betting the same amount. So the percentage of bets is almost never the same as the percentage of money.
True. Now, also, Barry, you would think, man, if that many people have placed a bet on this side, and if the percentage of money is that large for that team, you got to go the other way. They are begging you to take the team that's only getting 34% of the bets and has 28% of the money placed on it. And I've actually used that rationale before,
They're begging you.
Yes. Yeah. And we always tell you to look for the best value. And at this moment, I'm even going to check it live instantaneously right now. Let me hit the reset button just to make sure we're factual here.
This is late information update coming.
Yep, and it could.
I don't know which game he's talking about, so I can't follow in with him, but we'll find out.
But you do know it's one of the two games in the SEC tonight.
Yeah, there's a 6:00 game and an 8:00 game.
This has already changed since about 40 minutes ago.
Yeah.
When my VIP River Region Straw text line was mentioning this game.
Find that hard to believe.
40 minutes ago, there were only two betting outlets that had Alabama, the Crimson Tide, at home tonight, hosting Texas A&M.
League leading Texas A&M.
Texas A&M is 17-4 overall, 7-1 in the league. They've won 4 in a row.
Yep.
Alabama 14-7 overall, 4-4 in the league. They've lost 1 in a row, which I've been told you can't lose 1 in a row.
That is now.
In 40 minutes, Barry, there are 5 betting outlets that have moved that line from Alabama -7.5 to Alabama -8.5 in 40 minutes.
Bear in mind, Texas A&M leads the league. They're 17-4. They're 7-1 in the league, and they have just absolutely blistered Georgia by 25 in Athens over the weekend. They take on an Alabama team that not only has lost 2 of their last 3, but they got blown out by 23 on Sunday, and they stand 4-4 in the SEC. Why is Alabama such a favorite in that game?
And that's amazing that in 40 minutes, that number has moved a point to, what I say, 5 or 6 outlets. There were 2 when I checked 40 minutes ago. Now there are 6 that have moved it from 7.5 to 8.5. What do they know? What do they know?
Texas A&M's healthy, I can tell you that.
Let me tell you what I know. I have not been impressed with this Alabama team. They are streaky. They're either hot or they're cold. If they're not hitting the threes, it's trouble.
Yeah, right.
They haven't played well in the paint. They can get out rebounded a lot.
And those are their good points.
You know, in transition, teams have taken advantage of them. We saw Florida, how many points they made off turnovers, things of that nature. A&M runs a fast-paced style. You might have heard the
they
term
average like 90. They average like 92 points a game.
Yeah. So I'm catching 8.5. I know what they say. Oh, winning on the SEC road's tough. Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't care if they win or not. They ain't covering 8.5. Plus, probably maybe, Barry, the most important factor, is this a look-ahead game for Alabama? I mean, we know
the
what
Augs
on Saturday. To me, it just doesn't add up. I will take the Aggies of A&M. Look, you think Bucky McMillan's intimidated walking into Coleman Coliseum tonight?
No way.
Please. Come on. I will take A&M plus the 8.5. Okay, Bama might win the game. Whatever. I don't care. They ain't covering 8.5. I'll take A&M.
All right. There you go. Well, that is our Phantoms Daily Dog for today. We have had, notably in the Montgomery area, John's in the area right now. I'm in a hotel room in downtown Atlanta, Georgia, and it's been absolutely freezing. I mean, wind chills down to 6, windy and all that kind of stuff. Will Fisher from the Capitol Hill location in Prattville of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail joins us here. What is all the cold weather? What of all the frigid temperatures meant? Will, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, guys. How are you guys?
Doing well. Update us, man. It's been cold. How have things withstood all of that?
Yeah, we're good. Golf course is in good shape. We uncovered Monday one of the courses, the Senator course, and got it back open by lunch, and then did the Legislator on Tuesday. So, I know we got a little bit of rain this morning. Hopefully that clears out this afternoon. But, golf courses really did very well with that cold weather. My budget didn't do so well with that cold weather, but, hey, it is what it is. But no, I mean, we're like everybody else. We are ready for some warm weather. We're ready for people to be able to come out and play golf. Before you know it, the time's going to change. We're going to have some longer days, so you'll be able to play some golf after work before going home. So we're excited about the spring coming up. Masters is, I don't know, somewhere about 65 days away. So that's exciting as well. We can't wait for that. Listen, it's all good. All good here at Capitol Hill. I will say one thing. While I was in the green room waiting, one thing that you guys have forgot to account for is that I think rumor has it here around Capitol Hill that Nate Oates reached out to Carmelo Anthony to see if he wanted to come out and play.
Not a bad idea.
3 years of eligibility. So I think Carmelo may be suiting up for the Tide. Scoring machine Carmelo was, and not much on defense.
No,
but he put up some points. And so maybe that's why it's 8.5 Bama, is because Carmelo's going to come out and suit up for the Tide.
Yeah.
You know,
I heard that Robert Ory has put Nate Oates on call block. He's not even
Yeah,
taking his calls anymore.
Absolutely.
big game Bob.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Love to
Yeah.
see him back in a crimson.
It's wearing him
uniform.
out. Yeah.
Hey, Will, somebody asked me. I wanted to ask you because I've used them. I've utilized these as well. The hitting bays at Capitol Hill, because I've actually hit ball. I mean, I don't know if they're totally enclosed, but is there an area that when weather is inclement that you can maybe hit off the mats and not get wet and hit it out into the practice tee?
We have a covered area that you could use. It does have some mats there as well. We have 2 enclosed bays in that same building that we enclosed a couple of years ago that was part of our performance studio. And so I don't have a problem with people using that as long as our director of instruction, who is quite busy, but as long as he doesn't have something going on, absolutely, we don't have a problem with that. So on a day like today where it's a little windy, but it's got a little drizzle, not much rain pouring down or anything like that, and you wanted to come out and hit balls, absolutely, we can work with you and try to find a place for you to hit.
Awesome.
Now, it's the decorum on each of the courses at Capitol Hill and the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail is markedly gentlemanly, ladylike. Unlike what you'll see at the stadium course in Scottsdale, Arizona this week. In the Waste Management Phoenix Open, that has to say it's a party is kind of, it's more like a bash.
I think when I think of the Waste Management, I think it's a modern day Animal House type of scene.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
Yeah. And
I really need to work on my game. Well, don't think of it as work.
It really wouldn't surprise me if you saw somebody driving a tank down a cart path either at the Waste Management. So it's it's something like a little bit of like Animal House. But listen, I will say this: I heard somebody refer to it this way this week. I liked it. It was the People's Open. Right, and I love that. And listen, I know that golf has a certain decorum that you mentioned there, Barry, and that's good. We should definitely keep that in mind. But every once in a while, it's okay to let your hair down, go have a little fun, and root for these guys. And I'm gonna tell you, I think the players love it just as much as the fans do. It's not something you'd want to do every weekend and week out, but to have 1 or 2 stops across the country over the course of the year, I think is really neat, and I think your fans really enjoy it. I mean, there's a reason that almost 1 million fans take that event in every year, and the reason is because it's fun and it's fan engaging, lots of things to do, and the players embrace it, and so I think they egg a little bit of that on. I mean, you'll see guys doing the John Cena deal where they're they're on the par 3, right, where they're trying to egg on these guys to root them on, and certainly love to give each other a hard time, and that's not uncommon in golf. So I'm ecstatic, and I can't wait. This is one of the events. I don't watch a lot of golf. I will be honest, I don't. But this is one of the events that I watch. It's the Masters, obviously the majors, and then you throw in the players are the ones that I really like to watch. But this is one of
this has separated itself from really all other tournaments that aren't majors. That people want to see and the fan reaction. And I got a buddy of mine. He and his son are going out there to check it out, and he's extremely excited about it. So I look forward to hearing.
Let me tell you this. I don't know if you saw this. This was a story that broke yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not, but this is really neat. But they were talking about there were some guys doing an interview with the tournament chairman, which is an organization that runs. So the chairman changes up every year, and it's a young guy. I for the life of me, I've lost his name, but he's married with kids. Well, Joel Damon was looking for an exemption and bumped into the guy intentionally and said, "Oh, you must be so-and-so, and these must be your 3 kids." And they started talking, and he was like, "How does he know this?" And then the guy's wife walked up, and he's like, "Oh, you must be Laura, his wife," and he's like, "Yeah." And he made the comment about, he's like, yeah, I try to do my research and get to know people that I'm going to be potentially running into over the course of the day. And Joel kind of finished the interaction by saying, I think our first date went really well. I look forward to another one. And he was basically insinuating that he would like to have the exemption. The guy loved it so much that he gave him the exemption.
It's all about the presentation, Will. I love it.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%.
John used to do that about, I got a 68 average,
Yeah.
I mean, that is the equivalent, Will, of clapping the erasers after class,
Right, whatever it took. Exactly. Whatever it took. Will, your thoughts about live players wanting to come back to the PGA Tour?
Yeah, I was really glad to see Brooks come back. I think that's a good deal. I know their timeline. I think it was this week was they needed to. Now that they've extended that to some of the guys, I would really like to see. I think of all the players that are left that are out there, which was Cam Smith, John Rahm, Patrick Reed, and Bryson, the two that I would like to see come back the most that would be fun to watch week in and week out would be Rahm and Bryson. Obviously, I think that's understandable. And so I think Bryson should come back. I think he's just on the cusp of really writing himself into the history books of the PGA Tour, 2 U.S. Open wins. But I believe that Bryson's probably going to get a PGA at some point. I think he potentially is going to get a British. I know, one of the things they talk about Bryson at the British is being able to flight the ball down. But, if you play St. Andrews and if Bryson hits it as far as he does, St. Andrews is one of the courses that does allow you to spray it a little bit more than some of the other courses over there in their rotation. So it wouldn't surprise me if Bryson gets a British as well. The PGA, I don't know. He's very creative and very smart around the greens. Or not PGA, I'm sorry, the Masters. But that's absolutely something that he could do, with his high ball and the length, carrying it over some of the dog legs at Augusta is certainly a possibility. So, listen, I would love to see those two guys come back. I'm okay with it. The one thing that I was a little disappointed in, I thought was a little aggressive, was, that the PIP money is what it's called. I think it's PIP, but it's basically the money that is being generated through the PGA Tour by having, your visibility on social media and your clicks and all that stuff.
Right, your popularity.
They took a lot of that away. They took all that away for a period of time for Brooks. I think it was a 5-year period. He wouldn't be included in that pot of money. And I understand there's a penalty that needs to be served. I'm okay with that. But I thought the 5 years, 1 or 2, 3 years might be where I would settle. 5, I thought was a little aggressive. When they factored that in for Brooks, somewhere in the neighborhood of about $85 million. And so, that was a little steep, but I understand. And really the hope would be that either one of two things happen. That the live tour, which is now going to be playing 72 holes this year, will either find a way to get golf world ranking points. I don't know what else will need to be done. 72 holes was a mark in the sand they were not going to be able to get past unless they did the 72 holes. Not sure about the shotgun format and the field size, but that might be something that is flexible for the World Golf Point company or the committee. But the other part of this is that I think that if we can get where the world, the DP Tour, the European Tour, the PGA Tour, and somehow the Live can get to where they can play, on those tours without having to be a bunch of hurdles, I think is great for golf in general. And just in general, I think the more that you can see a guy like John Rahm be able to go play in a Live event 1 week, a DP Tour event 2 weeks later, and a PGA Tour the next week, it's good for everybody. Because these guys, one of the things with being on the PGA Tour and not being able to move back and forth between these tours is that there's certain places that the PGA Tour does not go. They don't go over to the Asia market a lot. And so there's some of that, by being able to move amongst these tours, some of these guys, their exposure will gain overseas in some areas where the PGA Tour doesn't go a lot. The PGA Tour goes all over, but it may only do one event that is a sanctioned PGA Tour event in, say, the Middle East, in Dubai.
Well,
they may only do one event, in Australia or something like that, where Live kind of moves a little bit more, and so does the DP World Tour.
Live Golf, they're playing this morning, and their 5th year. They're playing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia this morning. It's the first Live Tour event that'll feature 72 holes instead of 54. Who was it, John? Was it Koepka or was it DeChambeau who says, man, we ain't getting paid for 72?
That's true. Well, there again, though, they're going to have to change the name because Live is Roman numeral 54. What's Roman numeral 72? Can you make anything out of that? They have to change their name. Doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, Will, as we let you go, let our listeners and viewers know how they can get tee times and more information at Capitol Hill on the RTJ Trail.
Yeah, they can look us up at rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill. They can give us a call at 334-285-1114. It'll ring right into the golf shop. We'll be glad to make tee times more, talk to you about the Performance Center coming out, getting fit, all the new equipment out. So just give us a call or come out and see us.
There you go. rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill. At the Prattville location, Will Fisher, always appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too, buddy. Thanks. Good talking to you, man. Good stuff. Yeah, what are they going to do? But I don't know what – I'm trying to think Roman numeral 72. LXX11.
X. There you go.
Yeah.
Got to be it, right?
What does that spell? How do you – that's –
I don't want to get – that's like the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, I have to look up. It's Super Bowl 60.
Yeah.
No, it's LX. You have to why do that? Why do they even get involved in that? Give me a break.
I will give them that, though. I got to give the NFL a little credit. I mean, whoever thought that up, because it's unique, it's different. Nobody else does it. It's kind of like the NFL's own little thing. I know some Roman numerals. I don't know them all, but yeah, if it's going to be Live because it's 54 holes and Live, L-I-V, is 54, then now you got to change the name.
Well, we've got coming up, it's the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We've gotten chatty today. We've had like one break in the last hour and 15 minutes.
No kidding.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Located off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating. For you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 888-669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs. All right, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us. About 12 minutes to the top of the hour here. Plainsman Preston tells us Super Bowl 50 did not have a Roman numeral attached to it. Come on. No way. I got to see it, believe it.
Man,
I don't believe that. I just don't believe that.
See, John gets caught up in the weeds. You know, you say your future schedule. I look at 2033 when you've got this and that. John, there's a couple of things that, for some reason, Roman numerals are right up John's alley. Future schedules. Wait a minute. Are you here to tell me that they didn't have a Super Bowl L and it was 50? Are you kidding me? That's crazy talk.
I want to see some printed promotional material that tells me there's not a Roman numeral attached to it. You know, it's kind of like, Barry, this is the other way. Hey, it's true until you prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
I don't believe this is true. Prove me wrong.
But also, when he says that, again, it's usually something tremendously obscure, like, you got to prove to me that there was a Super Bowl 50. I don't believe it. I'm here to tell you that didn't happen. Yeah. But number two, when he says, prove to me I'm wrong, good luck with that.
Yeah.
John, I have here a signed affidavit and video testimony from the person involved that said he did not get kicked out of the University of Florida. John says, oh, you've got AI, and I mean, anybody can Photoshop something, and who's to say that somebody didn't edit that video? So whenever he says, you got to prove it to me, good luck.
Wait a minute, Gurn, you're making me look bad. Wait a minute.
Hang on. 2014.
Huh.
This is from Darren Rovell, dated 2014. The NFL announced that Super Bowl 50 will be graphically represented using 50.
What?
Jamie Weston, who's highly suspect, says they're doing because the L isn't as pleasing to the eye. Listen.
Whoa. Time the heck out.
L
My
isn't
last name starts with an L. What do you mean?
Well, you ask Auburn fan, who for the past 5 years have taken more L's than they've had W. People, L has a negative connotation in the world of sports. Who wants a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills have taken 4 straight Super Bowl L's before. They don't want a Super Bowl L.
Preston, I stand corrected. You are correct, sir.
Wait a minute. Are you not going to say that somebody obviously photoshopped that really quick and all that for Gurn Jr. to flash it up there?
But another obscure Auburn reference, like you say, with the letter L, it's kind of like when they hear Longshore. It has a negative connotation. That guy, the heck with him.
Yeah. That guy's full of beans.
Yeah.
All right.
So, okay.
Here we go.
I've been wrong before. Not often, but I have. But that one surprised me. I got to admit.
And even more rare, John admitting that he was wrong when he was wrong. I've been wrong before. Can't remember when, but I suppose I have.
Ryan Leaf and Bill and Hillary, who I understand are going to testify in the Epstein hearing. That ought to be interesting. Woo!
Mike Riley?
No. Was not wrong about that one. No. Did you read Cecil's column about that?
I'm with you. I'm with you, Gurn. Let's start spinning this, baby, because we're running out of time. There is a clock. I think John has one in his. We used to wonder all the time. Do you even look at the clock? I'm sure he has one. So here we go. Dates are set. I saw this. Coming up over the next couple of years, 26 and 27. 2026, the quarterfinals are at the Fiesta and the Cotton. The semis are at the Capital One and the Sugar. And again, the championship game will be held like January, whatever. 2027. It'll be the Sugar and the Peach for the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And the semifinals will be at the Orange and at the Cotton. The only thing that really, ticks me off, look at this. Hold the screen right here.
Okay.
2026, 2027, the 27 regular year, the 28 championship calendar year. All-State Sugar Bowl on a Friday, New Year's Eve.
Yep.
The semifinals will be on a Thursday and a Friday. There's only one quarter or semifinal game that's going to be held on a Saturday. Actually, two. That's the Peach and the Rose. Why is the Rose always, forget Notre Dame getting preferential treatment.
I'm with you.
January 1st, you got the Peach and the Rose in the quarterfinals. Those are and then the semis are on a Thursday and a Friday.
What's going to happen if that's an NFL weekend?
Yeah.
You know, what are they going to do?
They're going to
I still don't like it, man. There's too many gaps. There's some big gaps here, 10, 12, 14-day gaps in between games. Don't like that. There again, I thought there was talk about starting in week 0, having this thing finished by January 1. Come on. I don't like it. Do not like it.
Yeah, that came out yesterday. It's, again, we're going to be at 12 teams for a good little while.
Now, obviously, this is a new viewer. Let me address this. You got it backwards, my friend. Feinbaum will never reach my status.
Yeah, that's Chris the Bammer. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
He'll never reach my status. That's the way I look at it. Yeah,
fine.
I've actually addressed that before. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But I like Paul. Paul and I've been friends for a long, long time. So I get it. All right, let's move on.
Here we go.
5 to go, I believe.
Here we are.
Been away.
5 left. Yes, sir.
How does the Catso trio? How does that Chris the Bammer? Well, anyway, go ahead.
Well, it is, but I mean, he's changed his name a couple times.
Cognito. All right, dropping out. Huh.
Uh-huh.
I never thought about that. Ooh,
oh, no, that's not good. Iguanas. Iguanas are cold-blooded, and it's been cold. So, I mean, they need warmth to keep the blood flowing. And when the blood doesn't flow, they pass out. And I've seen iguanas in Florida. I've been running. I've done
more. Look at all those.
Oh my gosh,
iguanas everywhere.
Look at all those iguanas. You'll be running like down in Miami when I'm running. Whenever Troy was off on a trip somewhere down there, and you'll see this iguana like running across the sidewalk. You're like, whoa, that looks like a dang dragon.
Well, they wake up when it gets warm. Or are they done?
No, they're not dead. Yeah. They just, their blood's not flowing like it should, and they pass out. I mean, you're walking around, with your girl, and all of a sudden, an iguana falls on you.
As soon as it gets warm, they'll be alive and kicking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was a great song by Simple Minds. Yeah. There we go.
All right, 5 minutes. Let's go for it. I think we can get him in.
I love Gurn Jr. going with the iguana take on that one. You never know. All right.
Spin it away.
Brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22, I-85, Shorter, Alabama. You can be a winner, too. She'll race. Oh, Lindsey Vaughn.
Okay.
This was catastrophic for the Winter Olympics, which begin this month in Italy, up in the Alps. She was going to be the face of U.S. coverage of the Olympic Games. Lindsey Vaughn, the all-time great downhill skier. Last week, she blew out her knee. And, the Winter Olympics people, the television saw that their ratings, just going out. Well, she's 41. She was expected to be the star of the Winter Games, and now she can't compete. She says, I'm going to do it. How are you going to do it? You've got no ACL, no working ACL in one knee. The women's downhill and the Super G and the team combined stuff is incredibly difficult on your knees.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it happen, but I'm betting against it. There's no way.
Didn't Alabama have a punter that still punted with a blown out knee?
That was Lane Bearden. That ain't nothing like you got to just live. He was a kickoff guy as well. You got to just live with the pain for one swing of your leg. She's got to go down a mountain.
Yeah,
without a working ACL.
How did I remember that guy? Unbelievable.
You didn't remember him. You couldn't remember his name. That doesn't count. I knew there was one. Let's go back to it.
Okay. Let's spin it away. 3 or 4. Blue, red, yellow. That's 3. Yep.
I got. I'm looking forward to the Winter Olympics. John, I'm not sure so much. Points. Finally.
Can't be an NBA game.
Yeah.
Okay. Talked about the Live earlier today.
Yeah, Live opens in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia today. It's their 5th year, and they haven't done diddly squat. Top 10 finishers in the Live, the ties. will now have an avenue towards getting in the official world golf rankings.
Okay.
As a small tournament, if you win in Saudi Arabia this week, you get 23 world ranking points, which is about half of what a PGA. I don't like it because I want to kind of freeze the live out. I don't want to give them any recognition and just get back to golf the way it's supposed to be. One tour, one series of events and all that. It divides golf, and that's not good. So I say don't give them anything.
Yeah.
They'll get nothing and like it.
All right, 2 to go. Let's spin away, see what we got here left on the Victoryland 777 topic. Will Victoryland open 24/7, 365, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama?
It's been a good run so far for Gurn Jr. Done a lot of research.
Staying home.
I like it when he puts in the question mark. Staying home?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Giannis Antetokounmpo says he wants to retire with the Bucks. Earlier this week, he was quoted as saying it's time, getting out. You know, he's done. They're not going to win any championships. The Greek Freak, this is his 13th year in the NBA. He's 30-something. Really? He's not getting any older. But now Giannis says, I want to stay.
Okay.
In Milwaukee. The only people I know that want to stay in Milwaukee were the Cunninghams and Fonzie.
Laverne and
Happy
Shirley.
Days. Laverne and Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
Antetokounmpo wants to stay in Miami. A total about face from what he said earlier in the week. Who knows?
And money usually has something to do with that. You know, I've said it all along. I mean, if the price is right, I'll yell War Damn Eagle every day. Hey, if anybody's listening, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a big price. Now, just so you know, I mean, this ain't no charitable donation.
Dress up like Albie, whatever it takes.
All right, back at it.
Spin away to make it official.
One more.
Yep, one more to go. It's called the Big Swap, I believe.
Big Swap.
Trade?
Oh, yeah, boy. I was on the bus yesterday, on the Troy team bus yesterday, pulling into Atlanta when the trade, it went through that bus like wildfire. James Harden, 11-time All-Star. I think he's played for like 10 teams or whatever. He's one of the all-time leading scorers in the NBA, and he's never really happy where he is. They sent him to Cleveland for Darius Garland, who's a good player, and look at there, future second-round pick. He's on the downside, man. I think that's overpayment.
If he hadn't been happy in any of the other places he's been, is he going to be happy in Cleveland? I mean, who's happy in Cleveland?
Yeah, leaving Los Angeles for Cleveland. And he says this is what he wants. Okay. Knock yourself out.
I did see him play in person once. The guy can fill it up from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, he does not mind taking a shot. That's for sure. Well, we took our shot today. What'd you think? CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, Will Fisher from Capitol Hill and the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Lots of stuff. Tomorrow on the show, it's Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com, and it's Rodney Day. Rodney Orr, TiderInsider.com, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Mart.
Do not want to miss that. Hey, if you missed any of our show, you're in luck because you can watch it anytime on your schedule. Just check us out at YellowhammerNews.com, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Apple Tunes, you name it. It's all over the place. You can find us, and we really appreciate everybody checking us out. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented